welcome to World 360. You're watching CVR English and I'm Sandeep. Iran launched retaliatory strikes following Israel's major offensive Israeli strikes the night before had reportedly targeted Iran's nuclear and military infrastructure. Prime Minister Netanyahu called it the start of a prolonged operation to stop Iran's atomic ambitions. The Israeli army released footage claiming to show interception of an Iranian drone on Friday, June the 13th, after Iran launched a missile barrage in retaliation for Israeli strikes. Air raid sirens sounded nationwide while most missiles were intercepted. Several hit buildings in Tel Aviv and Ramallah. The U.S. military assisted in neutralizing the threat.
היא מתרסקת. בסדר, תשמור ככה, תשמור עליה מבנה ככה, בסדר? אוקיי, היא מתחיל, בסדר? 100%, עשה, נכנס. פגעה, היא מתרסקת. בסדר, בסדר, תשמור ככה, יש הפורה למבנה ככה, בסדר? אוקיי, אני מתחיל, בסדר? 100%, עשה, נכנס. פגע, היא מתרסקת. בסדר, תשמור ככה, יש הפורה למבנה ככה, בסדר? אוקיי, אני מתחיל, בסדר? 100%, עשה, נכנס. פגע, היא מתרסקת. בסדר, תשמור ככה, יש הפורה למבנה ככה, בסדר? אוקיי, אני מתחיל, בסדר? 100%, עשה, נכנס.
A projectile struck Tel Aviv on Saturday amid Iranian retaliatory airstrikes, triggering emergency sirens across Israel. Explosions rocked Jerusalem and Tel Aviv following Israel's largest ever military operation against Iran. The Israeli military says most of the nearly 100 missiles were intercepted. US forces also assisted. Casualties and structural damage were reported. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro issued a direct appeal to the people of Israel, urging them to halt Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's military actions. Calling himself a Christian and descendant of Sephardic Jews, Maduro condemned what he described as a criminal war against Palestinians, Lebanese, Syrians, Yemenis, and Iranians. He asked, "Where will so much hatred, racism, and destruction lead?" and warned that no amount of missiles and bombs can suppress global will for peace.
Naciones Unidas ha permitido el bombardeo y la destrucción de Beirut y del Líbano. Han permitido el bombardeo y la destrucción de Siria. Todos los días permiten el bombardeo del pueblo árabe de Yemen. Y ahora también van a voltear hacia un lado. Ahora, ¿qué dice Berlín? ¿Qué dice París? ¿Qué dice Londres? ¿Qué dice Washington? Van a seguir alentando al Hitler del siglo XXI, ahora contra el pueblo noble y pacífico de la República Islámica de Irán. Pues yo digo, el pueblo de Venezuela, bolivariano, humanista y pacífico, dice no a la guerra. Esta locura hay que pararla. Pueblo de Israel, pueblo hermano judío, como cristiano y heredero de Sefardí, les digo, detengan la locura de Benjamín Netanyahu. Solo el pueblo de Israel puede detener esta locura. ¿A dónde va a llevar este guerrerismo? ¿A dónde va a llevar tanto racismo, intolerancia, tanto odio, tanta violencia? ¿Es que creen que con misiles y bombas van a someter la voluntad de los pueblos del mundo? ¿A dónde va a llevar tanta destrucción? Paren ustedes la agresión y la guerra contra el pueblo palestino, contra el pueblo del Líbano, contra el pueblo de Siria, contra el pueblo de Yemen y contra el pueblo noble de la República Islámica de Irán. La pelota está en la cancha del pueblo judío de Israel. Detengan esta guerra inmoral, esta guerra criminal.
Los Angeles police say they are fully prepared for weekend protest. LAPD Chief Jim McDonnell confronted strategic deployment to ensure public safety, while Sheriff Robert Luna said patrols will increase near religious sites after Iranians' airstrikes on Israel. National Guard are present but not coordinating with the police. Protests have remained mostly peaceful so far.
The Los Angeles Police Department is fully prepared for the planned demonstration scheduled to take place across the city on Saturday, tomorrow. We're closely monitoring developments and deploying our personnel and resources strategically to protect public safety while safeguarding every individual's right to protest peacefully. Is there any coordination between federal authorities and local authorities in the area, particularly as it relates to the deployment of Marines at the Westwood Federal Facility? I wouldn't call it coordination. We know where they are. We know that they are doing their mission, which is, as we're told, to support and protect federal employees, functions, and facilities. And so the Marines working together with the Army National Guard are in the same configuration, and their mission is the same. But their mission is not to work with us on the streets to maintain order, restore order, and keep everybody safe.
And it's not lost on us that we are all also monitoring the overseas activities regarding Israel and Iran. That impacts us. That alone, without everything else going on, would have kept us busy. We are making sure that we are working with our community partners and collaborating with them, and we will be providing more vigilance or patrols to other or many of our religious institutions or other facilities as we communicate with our partners in both communities because they're concerned. There's a lot of anxiety there.
We also have an advanced provider unit, and the unique aspect of that is not just a paramedic on that ambulance, it is a nurse practitioner and also a physician assistant. And the benefit of that, if there's a mass quantity of people injured at one time or a large quantity of individuals that are arrested like we're seeing, some of them will state medical needs, well, these nurse practitioners can clear them so we don't have to always take them to the hospital if their medical complaint is minor.
No vamos a tolerar cualquier tipo de crimen. Les advertimos que no vamos a tolerar que dañen a las propiedades, dañen a otras personas o especialmente que dañen a los oficiales. Si hacen esto, van a ser arrestados. Le pedimos a las personas que estén aquí pacíficamente y respetuosamente.
The above-ground pilot enforcement plant at Iran's Natanz nuclear site has been destroyed. UN nuclear watchdog chief Rafael Grossel told the military of the UN Security Council on Friday on Israel's strikes on Iran. At present, the Iranian authorities are informing us of attacks on two other fatalities, namely Fordo fuel enrichment plant at Isfahan. The International Atomic Energy Agency's Grossi told 15-member council, at this moment we do not have enough information beyond, indicating that military activity has been taking place around these facilities as well, he said.
At present, the Iranian authorities are informing us of attacks on two other facilities, namely the Fordo fuel enrichment plant and at Isfahan, where fuel plate fabrication plant, a fuel manufacturing plant, a uranium conversion facility, and an enriched UO2 powder plant are located. However, Madam President, I have to inform that at this moment we do not have enough information beyond indicating that military activity has been taken place around these facilities as well, which initially had not, I repeat, had not been part of the military operation. But now there is enough information for me to say to you that these facilities are also concerned. Thank you for the opportunity, Madam Undersecretary General and dear colleagues. At Natanz, the above ground part of the pilot fuel enrichment plant, where Iran was producing uranium enriched up to 60% uranium-235, has been destroyed. Electricity infrastructure at the facility, an electrical substation, main electric power supply building, emergency power supply, and backup generators have also been destroyed. There is no indication of a physical attack on the underground cascade hall containing part of the pilot fuel enrichment plant and the main fuel enrichment plant. However, the loss of power to the cascade may have damaged the centrifuges there. The level of radioactivity outside the Natanz site has remained unchanged and at normal levels, indicating no external radiological impact to the population or the environment from this event.
One is left with the impression that the leadership of Israel is convinced that they have a completely free hand in the region, and they probably think that Israel can flout any legal norms and replace all international bodies, including the Security Council and IAEA. The Russian Federation strongly condemns this action by West Jerusalem. West Jerusalem's military adventure pushes the region to the brink of a large-scale war, and the responsibility for all of the consequences of these actions lies fully with the Israeli leadership and those who encourage them. Israel decided to preempt this in the way they deemed necessary and started bombing the nuclear and energy infrastructure in Iran, showing this way their contempt for laws and norms, agreements, rules, everything that is the basis for a civilized interaction between states. The responsibility for what happened is not just with the state of Israel, but also with its closest allies. This is a direct consequence of Western countries' acquiescence, who for months knowingly and methodically pumped up anti-Iran hysteria in the UN Security Council.
Of particular concern is the strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities. It has been reported that the Natanz enrichment complex, which houses both the fuel enrichment plant and the pilot fuel enrichment plant, suffered significant damage, including centrifuge cascade calls. The International Atomic Energy Agency resolution, adopted on 12 June, calls on Iran to meet its legal obligations and to fully cooperate with the IAEA to urgently remedy its non-compliance with its safeguards agreement. Finally, the latest dangerous escalation follows some significant diplomatic developments. Talks between Iran and the U.S. were to resume in Oman this weekend. I encourage such diplomatic efforts to continue.
Celebrations erupt in Tehran as Iran rains over 100 missiles in Israel. People have thronged streets and waving flags, celebrating attack on Israel.
انشالله این هیدرها کمک این جبهه باشه انشالله که پیروزی از
In a fresh statement from Iran's supreme leader Khamenei, he said that Israel had initiated a war and would not be allowed to do hit-and-run attacks without grave consequences. The Zionist regime, Israel, will not remain uncatched from the consequences of the crime. The Iranian nation must be guaranteed that response will not be half-measured, Khamenei said in a statement.
بزرگی کرد. غلطی کرد و عواقب او رو بیچاره خواهد کرد به توفیق الهی. زندگی برای آنها تلخ خواهد شد بدون تردید. فکر نکنند که زدند و تمام شد. نه. کار رو اونها شروع کردند و جنگ به راه انداختند. ما به اونها اجازه نخواهیم داد که از این جنایت بزرگی که انجام دادند خودشون رو سالم خلاص کنن. مسلم نیروی مسلح جمهوری اسلامی ضربه های سنگینی بر این دشمن خبیث وارد خواهد آورد. ملت هم پشتیبان ماست، پشتیبان نیروهای مسلح و جمهوری اسلامی به اذن الهی بر رژیم صهیونیستی فائق خواهد شد. ملت عزیز این رو بدونن و مطمئن باشن و خاطر جمع باشن که در این زمینه هیچ کوتاهی صورت.
Iranian's President Massoud on Friday said the country will make Israel regret its foolish act. In response to a series of Israeli attacks overnight, Israel said it targeted Iran's nuclear facilities, ballistic missiles, factories, and military commanders, at short of what it warned would be a prolonged operation to prevent Tehran from building an atomic weapon.
این اقدام سبعانه که برخلاف همه تعهدات بین المللی بود، پاسخ مشروع و قدرتمند جمهوری اسلامی ایران دشمن را از اقدام احمقانه خود پشیمان خواهد کرد. به فرموده امام و بزرگوار ما هر پرچمی از دست سرداری بیفتد، دست توانای سردار دیگری آن را برداشته و به میدان می آید. جمهوری اسلامی ایران همان اندازه که برای صلح و آرامش در جهان و منطقه همه تلاش خود را به کار بست و آمادگی کامل خود را برای گفتگوهای طولانی و اطمینان آفرینی برای جهان در جهت صلح طلبی اثبات کرد، در پاسخ به تجاوز و دفاع مشروع از تمامیت کشور نیز.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un pledged to keep building more modern Navy fleet to enhance the country in maintaining the power. He attended the launching ceremony for a warship that was repaired after earlier failed launch, state media said on Friday. State-run television KRT aired footage on Friday of Kim and his daughter attending the launching ceremony.
구축함 진수를 기념하여 당중앙위원회 비서 조춘용 동지가 진수 밧줄을 잘랐습니다. 지금 축파탄과 고무 풍선들이 날아올라 하늘가를 아름답게 장식했습니다. 밤의 선수 선미 갑판을 돌아보시며 해병들을 뜨겁게 격려하셨습니다. 위협에 바친 그 푸른 졸몸과 남진의 길에 떨치던 강력한 기계와 고귀한 정신이 그대로 함을 떠미는 추진력이 되고 일당백 전투 정신의 영원한 자양이 되어 새 세대 해병대 깊은 기념사진을 찍으셨습니다.
Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Wednesday that special attention in the country's new arms program should be paid to the nuclear, land-based, sea-based and aircraft-launched weapons. Putin's remarks, broadcast on state television, were made alarming the country's arms industry.
Играет ключевую роль в обеспечении баланса сил в мире. Сейчас доля современных образцов вооружений и техники в стратегических ядерных силах составляет уже 95%. Это хороший показатель, но по сути это самый высокий из всех ядерных держав мира. При поддержке государства оборонные предприятия кратно увеличили объемы производства текущих нужд. Вместе с тем, доминирующие силы при ведении современных военных действий любого масштаба и интенсивности остаются сухопутные войска. И важно в кратчайшие сроки нарастить их боевые возможности, создать прочный задел для развития, обеспечить разработку перспективных образцов и систем вооружения, обладающих самыми высокими тактико-техническими характеристиками и модернизационным ресурсом.
And that's all for the World 360. Stay tuned for CVR News